We're back.
We are back. What's up, people? We are doing another competition review.
This one's not as good.
It's not. We agree that your Pit Prodigy comp was way better than the one we just did.
Yeah, go Pitt, because we just went to a competition and you're about to hear how we felt about it.
Yeah, so we just did a local competition up in Tacoma, Washington at University Place CrossFit. And this competition was called Summer Solstice. We found it on Competition Corner.
It was a one-day event. There were 4 workouts, one of which was, in fact, a floater. But there was no final.
Yeah,
so
let's talk about floaters for a second. Can we just stop with the floaters?
please stop doing the floater.
I don't understand. Why do people do floaters? These like super non-specific, super short workouts to get in another score.
Our floater also, there's just no point to the floater, I don't think.
Yeah, the floater was 6-minute EMOM, max effort or you did 35 double unders, one partner did, and then the next one would bike for the remaining time, and then you got off the bike, and then you did 35 double unders, then your partner biked. You did that for 6 minutes, and it was max calories. I don't know.
For elite / like competitive CrossFitters, it was not good. Not a good test. The double unders were silly. 35.
What I think was worse about the floater was when we showed up for the athlete briefing, they made you fill out a time when you would do the floater. And we only had, I think, one time slot available that wasn't in the middle of one of our workouts. And it was basically the floater ended up being our third workout, and it was 20 minutes after our
lift / cardio event.
Second workout.
That's ridiculous.
And then when we finished the floater, we had like 15 minutes before we had to do the next workout.
That's ridiculous.
And it was like insanely tight, and it was insane. I mean, and I would say like the timeline of this competition was really crazy. I've never seen anything like it. We started at 8 a.m. and we finished by 12:20.
Well, the heat sheets came out, and I was like, wow, there's no way we're going to be done that fast. Nope. It was accurate. They stayed on schedule, that's for sure.
It was just really, really fast. And at first I was like, okay, it's kind of cool that like we can just keep going. But as you've, figure out is like by the time we got closer to the end of the day, you were really, really, really fatigued. Because you basically didn't ever rest. We barely even had the time to eat. And I think with the workouts, they were all similar, meaning like workout 1 was 8 minutes or so, 8 to 10 minutes. Second workout was these 3 lifts. And then they also had like at the end of that lift, they had this like barbell cycling piece that was 3 minutes long. That was also kind of high power. It was also another power clean. So we power cleaned in the first workout, and then we power cleaned in the second workout. And we also did a squat clean in the second workout. So a lot of stuff was repetitive. And then the third workout was this floater, which was 6 minutes long. And then the last workout was 15 minutes long, which was also, the last workout had this like 3-minute piece at the end of bar muscle ups. So there's like lots of high power effort, the way that it was programmed. And it all felt very, very similar.
I don't know. I just felt like I did one long workout that day because we had no rest. We did power cleans twice. Why?
Well, we cleaned 3 times.
That's true.
Yeah. So let's just talk a little bit more about the workouts, because I think it's, that's why we're doing these, like to get tested and see where we are. First workout was, 5 rounds, 15 toe to bar that you broke up as a team. Then it was 12, 10, 8, 6, 4 of an ascending power clean ladder where partner A had to do all of them and then partner B did. And then we did 8 synchro burpees. This workout was actually like hurt.
It was hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And in a lot of ways I would consider it the second best workout of the day. But here's the thing. The toe to bar split up between 2 people ends up being about 37 toe to bar each. That's like nothing.
Should have been synchro or you go, I go, but 15.
Yeah, it's like, so there just wasn't enough to cause any problems. Even if you had a partner that couldn't toe to bar, it didn't really matter because there just wasn't enough volume. Which is hard because they did actually have some really good athletes show up. it's it it's not really a test. It's not a racing test because there's not a lot of limitations in something like that. And then the barbell, I think the barbell was fine. I think I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about that. I think it was good that you both had to do it, so that was good.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the lift already. I was like, whoa, what?
No.
Yeah, no, I think the barbell was fine. Could have gone heavier, I think.
I think it could have been a little heavier. You also had to change your weights, which was an interesting way to make it kind of like a little bit of a teamwork thing. But they did have a hard time. We always had to ask for more weights whenever we did. Like, we didn't have the right stuff. And so I actually ended up having to do 215 on the last bar because we didn't actually have enough equipment. So I had to go heavier than what was written. We ended up getting third on that. So that was, I think overall. And then the burpees, there was 8 of them. Again, 8 times 5.
It's not enough volume.
It's just not enough to separate.
Yeah.
Again, we're thinking about competitive CrossFit. You need to create separation. And you need to have like a specific thing that you're testing. And sometimes when I was doing these, I don't know what they were. So then we went into workout 2 in like 20 minutes. It's really fast. And
I was still tired from the first workout.
Yeah, and it was the 5 minutes to do a 2-rep front squat from the floor. So it was basically a squat clean. So another clean, which we did in the first workout. And then it was 5 minutes to a 5-rep single split jerk. And then it was this like 3-minute AMRAP of...
Power clean.
Again,
lunge, shoulder to overhead.
Yeah, and that was like as many complexes as you could do as a team in 3 minutes. Yeah?
Yeah. So they're like, okay, we're going to test your strength, but then we're going to do cardio right after.
Yeah. You didn't need the last piece for sure. We just did power cleans in a Metcon right before. We didn't need to do it again. I think the thing that made that really tough though was our judge counted it wrong. And because the score sheet was wrong, actually the way that they printed it out, it wasn't even right. Like she told us we got 70 and then she realized that was wrong. And then they tried to fix it. We have the whole sheet that we saw. And so we don't even know it was so weird. So that whole thing was just like, nobody knew what the score was or how the score sheet even worked because it was literally printed wrong.
Yeah. And then when we went to ask for it, there was a bit of hesitation too, which I feel like you should always be allowed to look at your score sheet. Yeah,
I mean, I will share this. Shout out to University Place. I did my L2 there. I know Rory Zambard is on staff there, and Rory is incredible. One of like the OGs in CrossFit and knows her stuff. I did have a really weird interaction with Ashley Guido, who I think is one of the owners. She was incredibly rude. I'm going to be straight up, just like mean.
I know, right before our workout.
Asking about my score. I also, because the time frames were so tight, I asked for more rest because I just did a third workout and with 20-minute breaks, and she was mad about that. That's my whole thing. I just we're doing a sport, y'all. We're not in the military. I want the right equipment. I asked for a lot of better pieces of equipment. In the third workout, they wanted me to do step overs on a soft box at 24. That's literally unsafe. I could fall. And they were she came up to me and said, "Is there anything else you need?" And I was shocked that somebody would say that. And I want to say though that my judge at the time was Shirley Roberts. Super supportive. Also, I think a coach there. And also the other owner, John Guido, was also, I think in general, was really nice. I just couldn't believe some of the interactions I had with Ashley. She just was mad at me that I wanted to perform well and I wanted it to be safe.
Yeah, the box thing really gets me. It's because if other teams get the wooden box, then we should also get the wooden box. You try to do a step over on the 24 and it's just moving all over the place. Yeah,
it's kind of sketchy. And I had a weight on my shoulder. So if I fell, it would be really scary. And these loads were so light and these workouts were so non-competitive in a really, not hard enough to separate. You had to go really fast or you good luck.
Yeah, we were flying on those step overs, so you needed that wooden box.
We finished that second workout, and then we had another 20 minutes before we had to do this floater, which we said was the EMOM. And it was a tough one. Like the judge started the clock and wasn't clear.
I didn't even know we were going.
Yeah, so it was I don't know. These little things are so like just not professional. And so we started that workout like 10 seconds late, and like Maddie tripped on the rope because it was like, oh, I'm going now.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's just stressful. And then they wouldn't restart it, which is really hard. And it was like a high power sprint, right? These are like bike intervals on an Echo bike. So another high power workout. Like none of the workouts tested different things. It was all power and speed and strength. There wasn't like, we didn't have anything that long. So anyway, and then we had another 20-minute break, and this is where it got interesting. This is where I asked for the break because we were in the first heat. Guys, I don't feel that great. Like I haven't eaten enough. I haven't had any rest. Like we literally have been working out straight from 8 to 11. And my judge, Shirley,
so kind,
was like, hey, you should take a break.
Yeah.
Like, why don't we put you in the third heat? But then this is when Ashley came in and was all frustrated that I was asking that, which is crazy. Because let's just talk about fairness for a second. She said that's unfair that I did that. Well, we were in the first heat all day, and we were in one of the top scores. That was unfair that people got to watch our scores.
Yes.
Before we went. So we were actually in an unfair position all day, and they never changed the heats, right?
People were watching. They were looking for times. You could see it.
Oh, yeah. It was happening or weights or loads.
Yeah.
And so that was frustrating. So anyway, they did move us to the last heat, though, which was good. I got another 30 minutes of rest. 30 minutes. Oh, my gosh. And I did feel better, though, which is good.
Yeah, and there were some really, like, nice people around that. I don't know the guy who it was, but he got you some
nice.
Element, and he gave you a towel. He was so kind, like put us by the fan. So
yeah, so that was good. And then the last workout, which I think was the best workout, part A, again, it was like these double workouts, was 15 chest to bar, split up as a team, and then 15 cal row. I do, then 50 cal row she does, and then we do 10 synchro box step overs with the 50, and it was way more aerobic. But again, it was the same setup. It was like splitting the gymnastics, which there wasn't enough gymnastics.
No.
15 chest to bar between two people is nothing. And then here we are rowing again. So this is it
was a row workout.
there was a second workout that had a machine that was predominantly the machine. So this whole competition biased two things: strength and machine capacity. So that's what it was. It's like, how fast can you sprint on the bike? How fast could you sprint on the rower? Because the other stuff didn't matter. It wasn't hard enough. 10 box step overs with a 50 and 35 is nothing.
Yeah, that was silly.
8 and 7 chest bar pull-ups, like it's just not enough. So, and it's not intentional, and it's too similar to the other workouts. And then we had to do this 3-minute AMRAP of bar muscle ups at the end of that workout, which they said would like also added to the score, but it didn't change anything.
There was like no separator. We got 45 or 44, and then the team above us got 45.
Yep.
So
and I think the other team
what?
got like 47 or something.
Yeah, we were all in the 40s.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of the details of the competition.
Also,
go.
I was just trying to do a bar muscle up right when the thing ticked away. Well, my judge wasn't even looking at me. So I couldn't do my reps yet.
Yeah.
That was frustrating. And then it was chaos on the pull-up bars, just like a free-for-all. So if you wanted a spot, you had to make sure you weren't going to hit anybody, or just hit them.
All right, let's talk about the pros and cons of the day. So let's start with the pros. This shocked me when I walked in. I didn't expect this, but the athlete quality was so good. Like, shout out to like Kaylin and Zach and anybody else you can think of that we met.
Any athletes that we talked to, honestly, they were all really good.
Dude, they were
people
just
on the podium, and they were nice.
Good athletes. Like people putting up some numbers. It was really cool. And they must love it because you didn't get paid at this competition. But they were still throwing down. So I think athlete quality. What else was good?
Just like the energy overall.
Yeah.
It was fun. Like the other competitors and then the volunteers. Even if they weren't the best judges, all of them were really great to have around, supportive.
Yeah.
This was good energy.
Yeah. I think the space, like the gym, is nice. The They have a great box. It's low ceilings, so they don't have things like ropes, but in general, like it's just a nice space. I can see why they host L2s there. So I think those were all like the big wins. Should we talk about some of the cons?
Cons.
Well, I'll start. The workouts. Man, we just need to do better. Like in these competitive spaces, like I don't think it's clear enough what's being tested. And these are all really similar. Like I said, it was really biased. Like I really wish we looked at test sets and we're like, how can we create a broad, general, and inclusive test set that tests exactly what the methodology of CrossFit talks about? Is like, it's the average of everything. I don't think there's a lot of skill tested in this. The gymnastics was really minimal. And like I said, if you were a high power, stronger, bigger athlete, that was it. It would have been much more interesting, Maddie and I were saying, if instead of the focus on the barbell or the rower being the thing that you both had to do and have lots of power and go unbroken, what if it was split up the barbell or split up the rower and then everybody has to do 15, 20, 25 chest to bar pull-ups or 15, 20, 25 toe to bar.
Then you can't hide.
Dude, it's different.
No hiding behind your partner.
Yeah, because there's a lot of teams that were good where one partner did all the chest to bar pull-ups or all the toe to bar because it didn't really matter. I mean, all the elite athletes I know can do 75 toe to bar, chest to bar, no problem. 5 sets of 15, that's easy. That was my first con.
Scoring was just really strange to me.
Oh, yes.
The percentage-based scoring, usually it's just points, whatever. But I have never been to a competition where each workout was worth a certain percentage and then that affected, like looking at the leaderboard was very confusing how they were like scoring everything.
It was like percentage based.
Yeah, they overcomplicated it. Just do points, please.
Yeah, because we didn't know why. Well, we didn't really understand how we ended up where we ended up.
It didn't make sense.
Yeah, it was hard to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in general, we just need more standardization in the sport. Like, this is the problem. This is why people are like, I don't know if I want to do it again because I don't know. Like, we did a competition last year that was a winner-take-all final. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. Imagine if the CrossFit Games did that. I mean, people.
Oh, they get a lot of hate. Yeah,
don't do it. Don't do it. But I think it's getting better overall, right? I think like I'm seeing people do it better. I think a big con for me was just like the leadership and care for the athletes. Like I was getting shamed for wanting to be safe.
It's true.
Why would you need more time, or why would you want a box that's safer? Like it was so, or why would you want more weights? I mean, there was a couple times where I didn't have enough weights to do these workouts, and I was like, can I get more plates?
No. Anton had to leave in the middle of our workout to go get more plates.
Yeah, I just found some.
He just walked off and grabbed some.
Yeah.
And the fact that he had to use a 35-pound barbell. We had to share a bar for the lifts. I don't know if we talked about that.
Yeah, we didn't. That was
interesting.
Tough. Yeah, that was tough. And again, a bit unsafe because you're using equipment really heavy that you don't ever use in training. Yeah, we saw one athlete try to load a female bar like 315 pounds and couldn't load it, and so he tried to put bands on it, and then
toppled.
As he was lifting, the whole thing fell apart.
It was scary.
Yeah, it was a little scary.
And he could have gotten hurt.
It's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's kind of embarrassing. So, and I think the timeline was a big con.
Oh, yeah. The rushing of the workouts. At first, we were like, oh, cool. Like, we're just going to get this done. But then we're like, we can't recover. My legs are dead from the floater that I had to do. And now I have to do a workout 10 minutes after that.
Yeah.
No good.
Yeah. And then I think lastly, the last con is I just think you have to pay athletes. You have to pay athletes. If we're going to be a legitimate, like, sport, they should get something, even if it's a couple $100. You know, for our upcoming competition, we are paying judges. I'm trying to imagine a sport where you don't pay the referee.
CrossFit.
Yep, just CrossFit. You know, and like I guess it's noble to stand up in front of everybody and say we're so proud of all of our volunteers.
I mean, yeah, it's great that your community is willing to support your competition and spend the day there, but then you should support them back and pay them.
I think at least that's what we want to try start doing. I think if we want to be more legitimate. So we're excited about our competition coming up. There will be paid judges and there will be pay. Honestly, I think we just have to get better at running events to pay people there's lots of ways to raise money to do something like that. Let's talk about how we did and how we think about competitions and like what we're taking away from it.
I just want to say I think we did a great job. The workouts all went, besides the floater, the workouts went how we expected them to.
Yeah.
So overall, I think we did good. Give us like a B+.
We ended up fourth. Like I said, the 3 teams that were ahead of us are all very good, like very good athletes, semifinal CrossFit athletes, legit. And I think some of them were like more high power, so it definitely like favored some of them.
The machine, especially,
Yeah,
like
the machines,
the bike and the rower.
Yep, and then the lifts. Kind of step back for a second. I think it's always good to look at your competitions and understand where you could get better or where you need to improve, or like was there improvement. For us, for the lifts, for the 2-rep front squat from the floor, I did 305. And for the split jerk, I did 310. Super happy with those numbers. So I feel good there. Maddie hit 185 for the 2-rep and 200 for the split jerk. Huge improvement.
Yeah, I'll take those lifts.
Yeah.
Definitely, we still know I need to squat more, so that could be better. But those numbers gave us a good score on the lifting.
Yeah, it's good to see what some people are lifting. Like we have some numbers, like Maddie from the squat clean. Like it seems like some of these women were hitting 215.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, so we know that that's kind of like where we're going to focus. I mean, we know that.
Yeah, we know. I got to get stronger
squat.
legs.
Yep. But dude, your split jerk, freaking
that was exciting.
200 is good. We saw some of the good athletes that hit 215 could not do 195.
I know. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But again, can we just simplify this for a second? Why didn't we just do a clean and jerk for the test? You made us do a front or squat clean and then a split jerk. Let's just do one.
Yeah.
Like all these the programming just needs to be simpler, and then it's easier to judge. And a clean and jerk would be a much interesting test because it would have leveled the playing field a little bit, because some of these girls
we would have done good.
Yeah, I know. And we needed more skill. We needed a test like that because there wasn't enough skill in this whole competition.
We should have snatched.
Yeah. We should have done some more overhead, I think, for sure. So, yeah, and then I think when we think about the 2 tests we did the worst on, you always want to look what you did worst on, which was the floater and then this weird barbell cardio 3-minute thing.
Stupid.
First off, I think the score we had on that was wrong because, again, the score sheet was wrong and it was weird. And then I think the floater, I do think we didn't execute it correctly. So we were talking about that. We were saying, was it more like something we need to work on, or was it execution? I think there's so many variables that just, Maddie's really good on the bike and I'm okay on the bike. So we were just saying how it's hard to take that as something like, okay, we need to address that. Again, our takeaway was, I think there's been a lot of improvement with the lifting, which is really cool. And then also on the 2 Metcons, we did quite well. We got 3rd on both of them. And again, those are in workouts that I don't think are favorable for us because they were really high power, focused on the barbell cycling and then the rower. So I think we did pretty good, and we were very close to the 2nd place team in both of them. So yeah, that's kind of our takeaway. I don't know. Other than that, it feels good to compete, I guess.
It was good. We did good. The points were for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. The points were really close, and then after that, it kind of separated. So I think the top 4 teams were really close the whole day.
Yeah. Last thought before we're done. Do better, please. If you run a local competition, do better. Pay people, pay judges. Think about your programming so it's not so biased. We are running a competition August 9th here, as you know. I feel like it's very non-biased. $1,500 for first place. Every judge is paid. You will have plenty of rest in between events, and we're not going to overdo it. Okay, you're going to have a couple events that are conditioning based, but not everything will be. And your lift isn't going to somehow have cardio at the end. Just do better.
If you want to see how a good competition is ran, you should just come to ours, okay?
Yes, 100%. All right, Blue House out.